decide whether you're serious about it. And money, we don't accept money as an answer. Because if the will is really there, you'll do it. Money's not an answer.
I've got to piggyback on that because I was thinking, as you said, we've got to go out in the community, and this is key.
Yeah.
But I think another key issue, and I haven't seen this, is that maybe your board needs educating. Now, I don't know who's on your board, but when we talked about in our first group about the idea of race, freedom, compassion, and that kind of thing, this may be a discussion that should start at the board level. Because as you said, if the board becomes committed, then they may be more interested. But if they're not understanding what you're trying to do, if you go to mining the museum without proper,
I would just say, seeing your constant and consistent interest in expanding this conversation, and making that engagement, bringing attention to changing the interpretation in ways that are working better and better. And so I really appreciate all of the staff here at Montpelier who I've met who are doing good work. I see you as a constant thread that's very important to have. And thank you, Kat, for being here and being supportive. So I've got a fairly short list of things that I'm going to try and weave into some sort of a story. And they are about some of what I see that has been accomplished here thus far, that we've seen the interpretation of the house and the quarters just outside of it. Really try to focus on some general principles. And of course, often my job is to be the critic. It's the only way to develop, is to understand, at least get various understandings of the problem. And I have particular, as well as understanding my particular general experience as well as yesterday, to an attempt to help us move forward here at the end. I am reminded of an exhibition called African Voices. John, you mentioned the Dirty Dozen, part of a formation that was that occurred in the development of African Voices and other changes in the National Museum of Natural History. And I could just say in a nutshell that there were criticisms of, let's just take the example of the Africa Hall. There were public criticisms in the little notes that people fill out, but that never get read in the end, end up in a box somewhere. I had written articles. There was a community, African community research group called Tuwad Moja that presented their criticisms of a number of things, evolutionary space that was implicitly racist. And an Africa Hall that we had agreed on a set of things. It was quite an extraordinary hall. And we are told, I guess I don't know the order of these things, but one was we don't have enough money to do all of this. And by those Smithsonian staff, thank you very much. We've got this. You can now go, essentially, is the we, in our experience, in this case, a general kind of model of what had been happening by 1987. A certain power relations routine, usually with Euro-Americans controlling the institution of everybody's plantation and museum. And it begins in the initial about slavery and the interpretation of it. This is where we get some of this, where I get the idea that resistance is important, so that we're having sessions, having conversations about resistance. That's what they wanted to do for the Emancipation Proclamation. They didn't want to just put flags on cemeteries, which was one of the ideas that came out of the General Assembly Commission. about slavery, and so we created forums for that. But they also said, Euro-American and African-American, that they wanted the truth. They were tired of these heritage sites, and you know, we don't know about Montpelier yet. And we can't understand Mr. Madison unless we know about Montpelier. Sometimes seeing areas like in Richmond where they have the sign that says this once was the Negro's burying ground. I don't know that it, once it is, it is. And who are responsible